Welcome to Time to Cook. I am Chef Kristi and I am so glad that you're watching today. In honor of St. Patrick's Day, I want to show you how to make a traditional shepherd's pie. It is so delicious, it is rich, it is comforting, and the recipe will be in the description box below with all the measurements and the ingredients. But please consider subscribing to my channel. I have so many recipes that I'm sharing each week. And give me a thumbs up and show me that you like my video. And also, stay with me for the whole video so that you won't miss any of the important details that I'm sharing with you. So let's get started. Okay, I have a 10-inch iron skillet that I have put 2 tablespoons of olive oil in, and I'm adding a cup of diced onions, a cup of diced carrots, and a half of a cup of diced celery. And I'm going to let this just sweat a little bit, let these vegetables soften some, and I will show you what to do after that. My vegetables have been cooking for a couple minutes. They begin to soften, and now I'm going to add 2 cloves of garlic, and I'm using my garlic press, and then I'm going to let this cook just for a minute or so. Okay, this next ingredient is important. I am using 2 pounds of ground lamb. Now, you do not have to use the lamb. You can use beef, but traditionally, they use lamb. That's why it's called shepherd's pie. If you use ground beef, it's actually called cottage pie. You can even use like half lamb and half beef, but I'm using all lamb today because I want to make this as traditional as I can. So I'm just going to let my lamb brown up, and then I'll show you what it looks like next. Okay, my lamb is just about completely browned, and so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just sprinkle in some 2 tablespoons of flour and just mix that until that's all incorporated. And then I'm going to put 2 tablespoons, and I'm using this tomato paste that's in a tube, and I'm just going to squirt about 2 tablespoons of tomato paste into my lamb mixture as well. Stir this until it gets incorporated, then I'll show you what's next. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I have a half of a cup of red wine. Now this is optional. You do not have to use the red wine. You could just use all chicken, or I'm sorry, beef stock, but the red wine just gives it a good rich flavor, and the alcohol will cook out. And then I'm going to use 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce and 1 cup of beef broth. And I'm going to let this all cook together for probably about 15 minutes. I'm just going to leave it uncovered, and I'm just going to let this reduce for about 15 minutes until it's a nice thick sauce. Oh, I almost forgot. I need to add my seasoning. I have 1 teaspoon of salt, a half of a teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of dried thyme, and 1 teaspoon of rosemary, dried rosemary. So I'm going to add that, and then I have 1 bay leaf. And then stir this, and now I'm going to let this just cook and reduce. Okay, I had boiled some Yukon Gold potatoes, and I left the skins on. Now this is just my trick. I am using my food meal. And I just want to show you this real quick. I know you may not have a food meal, and if you don't, that's okay. You can use whatever potato you want and just mash them. But this is just my trick. That way I don't have to peel them. I just put them in my food meal, and I just spin this little wheel, and it pushes the potato through. And then the skins, they stay right in here. And that is awesome. That saves me some time. So I'm going to continue to do my potatoes, and then I'll show you what's next. Okay, I have got all my potatoes pushed through my food meal, and see now they're pretty much already almost mashed. And so then I have a half a cup of half and half, and a 1/4 of a stick of butter. And to that, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of salt and then 2 teaspoons of the dried chives. And this is just to add a little bit of color to my mashed potatoes. So I'm going to stir this around, and I'm going to pour this into my mashed potatoes. And it's very important to use warm or hot milk and liquid. That just ensures that you have a nice creamy, it doesn't get kind of gummy if you add cold milk and cold butter. So then I'm just going to fold this, and then I'm going to add 1 egg yolk to that as well. Just going to fold all this in, and then got one more special little treat is I have a block of Irish cheddar, and I'm going to add, I'm not exactly sure how much I'm going to add. I'm going to eyeball that and see, but I'm just going to grate this and add it to it, and so then I will show you what these mashed potatoes look like. Okay, I grated about, it's probably about a cup, and I'm going to put all of that inside my mashed potatoes. I'm going to stir all this together, and then this is going to go on top of my shepherd's pie, and it is going to be cheesy and creamy and delicious. So I will show you how I do that. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to do, my mixture has been cooking for probably about 20 minutes, and it's reduced. It's nice and thick. I just took out my bay leaf, and now I'm going to add 1 cup of frozen peas to this. Stir all this around. Now, this is when, if you want to, you could transfer this to a 9x13 baking dish, but I am just going to leave it right in this skillet. And then I'm going to take my mashed potatoes. I put them in a Ziploc bag, and I am just going to pipe them all around, and I'll show you how I do that. Okay, so all I'm doing is I'm just going to go all the way around. I'm just squeezing this, and I just think it's easier to put this on like this. You can just place it on there. You don't have to do this, but I'm just going all the way around, just making a big circle. And so I will do this, and then I'll show you what it looks like, and then we'll put it in the oven. Okay, I've got my mashed potatoes all placed on. Now I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit more of this Irish cheddar just all over the top. And then we're going to put it into a 350-degree oven for about 30 minutes, just so that everything will melt. It's all cooked, but just so the potatoes will get nice and golden brown, but I'll show you what it looks like. The cheese is nice and golden delicious. Okay, the shepherd's pie is done, and it is out of the oven. And so what I want to do for you is I'm going to serve this up. This, like I said, this is so good. So comforting. So I'm going to get this. And I don't know why the first piece is always the hardest piece to get out. So let me show you what this looks like. Okay, I so wish that you could smell this, because it just smells delicious. But let's try this and taste this and see what we think here. Oh wow. Oh my goodness. This is amazing. What a good meal. And so I hope that you try this recipe, and I also hope that you consider to subscribe to my channel, because I have so many recipes that I want to share, and I'm putting up each week new recipes. So thank you so much for watching, and happy St. Patrick's Day, and I will talk to you and see you soon.